Say it again.
Is it RStudio?
RStudio, yeah. You need to open RStudio. Okay. And I have, okay, the first topic is R Markdown. Okay. So in R Markdown, I have several files. So let me go over what each of these files will contain. Okay. The first one that you see, the PDF file, okay, so that contains the completed work for this module. Okay, so I have printed a PDF file, so you can download that and keep it on the side so to follow along. Okay. The second file is the shell file for the lesson that we're going to go over in RStudio. So it has some parts that I have entered, and then there will be the code part that we will do in class. Okay. So if you want to follow along, you need to download this and then open that file in RStudio, and then you'll work in that file. Okay. And this one is the same as that one. Okay. I'm going to start with that in the podium. Then I will be working. Sometimes you may fall behind or something, right? So this will be the file that you can download, which will be my file. So after today, you come Thursday, so you don't have the file that you worked on, then you can download my file and continue along, right? So that's this one. Okay. Now this time I have two. The last line, we may not have it every time. So the first three we will have every time. For every module, we will have those first three types of files, right? Now this time, I'm going to use a couple of image files. So you need to download those image files and have it in a folder that you can access. Okay. I suggest that in the My Documents, My Documents, right? The folder, you save it there, so you will be able to access them. Okay, and then there is a link here if you want more information about R Markdown, so you can go to that site and then take a look. So for now, you need to download this one and these two image files. Okay, the others are optional. Of course, there is nothing. In the third one, there is nothing right now because we haven't started. Okay. All right. Any questions? Everybody with me? Okay. All right. So here is RStudio. So when you open RStudio, you will have well, actually, there will be 4 windows. Okay. So if you open a file, you'll see. So I open this file. So this is what you will have if you open the shell file. Okay, you open the shell file in RStudio. I'm sorry about this not being on. I don't know what happened to the to the screen. I'll report this problem to IT. Hopefully, it will be fixed by next time. Okay. All right. So you open the shell file. Okay. So this is what you'll have. Okay. So I'm going to go over this and see here. You have some notes that I have already entered, and then we will be adding code into this. Okay. But first, let's go over the layout of RStudio. So you'll have 4 windows. Okay, so this one is the R file, and there are 2 different R files that you can have, but we will create what is called R Markdown file. So that's why it's called RMD. So the extension is RMD, okay, or Markdown file. Okay, so you could, if you don't care for Markdown, you could simply do an R file. So you can create just a code file, but I wouldn't recommend that because then you can't have notes in it and you can't produce PDF files of the output and so on. So this is, R Markdown is a much better format to work with. So that's what we will be using. Okay. All right. So here I already created a shell file for you. So you opened it and it is there, right? But if you want to create, like for example, for your homework, so you now have to create your own RMD file. So how do you do that? Okay. So what you need to do is to click this down arrow right next to the plus, right? And then you have several different formats that you can select from. Okay. Now you select R Markdown. Okay. That good? So select R Markdown, and when you do that, okay, so it's going to prompt you for some additional information. Okay. So you can give it a title. So suppose if it is like homework for week 1 or something, you can give that. Okay. So let's say that I say R Markdown. Okay. And then you can give, you don't have to give an author's name, but you can give, so let's say I say my initials. Okay. Now you can select one of these. I would leave it at HTML, but you can select PDF. You know, if you select PDF, you have to be a little careful. We'll talk about that. Okay. You don't have to worry about any of these. Okay, so that's it. So you can click OK here. Okay. By the way, I'm recording all this, and I'll make it available online for you guys. Okay. So if you fall behind or something, you can catch up afterwards by reviewing the video. Okay. All right. So now you click OK. So now it creates this template here. Okay. And it puts some stuff there you really don't need. Okay. So you need to get rid of that. Right. So here it gives you the title and the author. Suppose if I didn't put any author name, so that will be blank, and then it gives you a date and all that. So here is the default information. We'll talk about that in just a second. You keep that, and then rest of it you just get rid of. Okay, delete that. Okay. So this is what you should start out with. If you are starting with a new project, new work, you start with that. Okay. Now, of course, I would recommend that before you delete, you go through, what's in there, okay, just to get some more information. You don't need that, but in every file. But when you create a blank RMD file, it automatically puts that stuff. First time you read that. Okay. From then onwards, just delete all of that and start your work. Okay.